There is this big question floating around in the world of AI right now. Can one tool give you smart conversational answers and search the live internet, all without just dumping a list of links on you? Well, a tool called you.com says it can. So let's dive in and see what it's all about.
Okay, first, let's talk about a problem that I bet you run into all the time. You need an answer to something, and right now you basically have two choices. And honestly, both of them have a pretty big flaw.
And here's that dilemma, right? On one side, you've got your traditional search engine. It's like getting a list of homework. You get a bunch of links, and then it's up to you to do all the work. Click, read, and hopefully piece together the answer. Then on the other side, you've got a standalone chatbot. This is more like an isolated brain. It can give you a super confident, really well-written answer, but it's totally disconnected from today's information. It might be completely out of date.
So, how do you fix this? How do you get the best of both worlds? Well, this is exactly where you.com steps in. It's positioning itself as this kind of hybrid solution, an AI Swiss Army knife, if you will, designed to solve this very problem.
The big idea behind you.com is that it's not just another AI model. It's what's called an AI orchestrator. Think of it like a conductor leading an orchestra. Instead of being locked into just one company's AI, it gives you a single place to access all the best and most powerful models from all the major players out there. And we're talking about the real heavy hitters here. Through you.com, you can tap into the power of OpenAI's GPT-4o, Anthropic's Claude 3.5, Google's Gemini 1.5 Pro, and even Meta's Llama 3. The whole point is that you get to choose the best brain for whatever you're trying to do, all in one spot. Okay, so having access to all these different brains is cool, but what can you actually do with them? Let's take a look at how this all comes together into what's basically a personal AI toolkit broken down into these different modes. First up, you've got Smart Mode. This is kind of your default, your go-to for most things. You ask it a question, it searches the web, and it gives you a quick conversational answer. And this is the important part, it gives you citations. You can actually see where it got its information. But what if you need an answer that has to be absolutely 100% correct, like for a tough math problem or a chunk of code? That's what Genius Mode is for. And this is pretty wild. It doesn't just guess. It actually runs code in the background to prove its solution is right before it even shows it to you. Then there's research mode, and this thing is a beast. You can give it a really broad topic, something like, what are the economic impacts of EV adoption in Europe? And it will go out, scan dozens of articles, and then write up a full comprehensive report for you, complete with footnotes and all the sources. And it's not all just text and data. There's a creative side too. Create mode lets you tap into your inner artist. You just type a description of whatever image you can imagine, and its built-in AI image generator will turn your words into a piece of visual art. All of this sounds pretty amazing, right? But that usually leads to the big question. Okay, what's this going to cost me? So let's break down the pricing. So you.com has what's called a freemium model. The free plan is actually pretty generous. You get unlimited standard searches. But the catch is you only get limited daily access to those really powerful features, like Genius Mode or the absolute top-tier AI models. To get unlimited access to everything, you'd need the U Pro plan. So what's the damage? Well, the U Pro plan will run you about $20 a month. Although, like with most subscriptions, you can usually get a better deal if you decide to pay for a whole year up front. Now, anytime we talk about a new AI tool, we absolutely have to talk about safety and privacy. How does you.com handle your data? And more importantly, how can you trust the answers it gives you? This is probably the number one question for anyone thinking about using a new tool like this. Are you trading away your privacy just for some convenience? Okay, so here's the deal. On the plus side, they make a big point of saying they don't sell your data to advertisers, which is a huge difference from a lot of traditional search engines. They also have a private mode that won't log your searches. Now, the thing to know is that if you're using the standard mode, your chats might be used to help train their models. And just for context, they're a US-based company out of Palo Alto, California. And what about making sure the answers are actually right? Look, like any AI, this one can sometimes hallucinate, which is a fancy way of saying it can make stuff up and sound totally confident about it. But the fix is actually really simple. After you get an answer, you just need to do one thing. Always, and I mean always, click the citations it provides to make sure the information is coming from a real, reliable source.
Which really brings us full circle, back to where we started. U.com isn't trying to be just another search engine or just another chatbot. By combining access to all those top-tier models with different modes for writing, coding, research, and art, it really does feel like a versatile Swiss Army knife for AI.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big, fascinating thought. Tools like this are really challenging our whole idea of what a search engine even is. So maybe the future of finding things online isn't about getting a list of homework to do, but instead getting a single, well-researched and perfectly cited answer. Definitely something to think about.